Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Learn from the Greeks. My name is Daphne Vitskounaki. I'm the trade officer at the Greek consulate in San Francisco, and this is our guest today, John Vlachogiannis. Welcome, John.
Hello, Daphne. Hello, everybody. How's everything?
Everything is great, and I'm thrilled that you are joining us today. I want our audience to know that John is not new to Learn from the Greeks. He was with us from the very beginning, from the inception of this initiative. And I want to thank him publicly for his contribution. And I can also reveal that this secret, unknown, invisible voice that is heard on our third episode, posing the questions, that's him. That's John. Thank you, John.
The man behind the cameras. The mind behind the cameras. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, welcome, John. We would be thrilled if you would start by introducing yourselves, telling us a little bit about where you were born, where you grew up, and what your dreams were growing up, and what you were passionate about.
Of course. So for those that do not know me, probably they're living under a rock. I don't know why they don't know me. No. My name is John Vlachogiannis. My Starbucks name is John V because when you go to the US, when you come to the US and you say your name is Yannis, good luck trying to write it down. So I changed it to John, like Gon. And even worse with the last name, like Vlachogiannis, impossible. They cannot even pronounce it. So I changed it to John V. I'm from Athens, Greece. I moved first to San Francisco, I think maybe 9 years ago, something like that. And 4 years later, I moved down to Los Angeles, to the Silicon Beach, so from the Silicon Valley to Silicon Beach. And yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, mostly tech entrepreneur. I build startups. Sometimes they have an exit, sometimes they go nowhere, sometimes they change the world, sometimes they do nothing, but it's part of the game. Um, my dream since I was very young, it was to actually end up in the Silicon Valley and create a company that was, the big tech company, get funding, sell the company, and work for another company. And uh, I'm happy that this actually happened. I was privileged enough with the support from my family, the support from my friends, and obviously the support from Greece that gave me the free education, free healthcare, and uh, I was able to arrive to San Francisco and compete with all the other startups. So I'm extremely happy now that I'm able to give back to the Greek community, and I'm trying to give back to the Greek community as much as I can through the knowledge that I gathered all these years.
Excellent, excellent. So you started coding when you were 8 years old?
I think I was around 8, 9 years old that I started coding, playing around with coding. And my first official job was when I was, I think, 18, something like that. And I loved it. I loved it that I could start making very silly games. It was because I'm a terrible artist. I don't know how to draw at all. And I've taken up some lessons here in the United States to learn how to draw, especially now in the COVID era, that you're locked in your house, and I still cannot do it. But I was able to create with my art to create silly games, have interactions, make people happy, and then I moved from making silly games to making websites where people could play around and do their job even easier. So I was drawn into computers because it was an expression for me. I could express myself, build stuff, and make other people, happy or at least more efficient. And yeah,
And
that's how. Yeah.
did you have a role model in your family or in your immediate circle of friends?
Not really. I have most of my friends had computers and they were playing games, but they were not really computer engineers or anything. And back then there was no internet, meaning There was no, you couldn't go online, Google it. Like Google started in 2000. I was 2001, 2002. And I was trying to figure out how this programming works in 1998. So it was a little
Early
bit
days. It was
early
early
days.
days.
So
Yes,
yeah, I
yes.
had no idea where to buy books, how to do it. So it was error and trial and error, like very
Experimentation.
exactly, exactly.
So I'd like to move on to the spectacular success of Backsense and how it all got started, your startup company that was acquired. Um, so it started in Greece. That's where the beginning was. How long were you working on this idea before you moved to Silicon Valley?
Um, the company was acquired around 2.5, 3 years later after we started the company. Panos Papadopoulos and I, the two main founders, we started the company in Greece. The whole team was in Greece. And Panos and I were flying like almost all the time to the United States. Like we literally spent more than 6 months in the United States trying to raise money, talk with more customers, be involved in the community. So we were literally one leg in Greece, one leg in the Silicon Valley. But yeah, you are absolutely right. The company was 100% Greekly owned, funded by the now functional the Silicon Greeks of the Silicon Valley.
Silicon
Um,
Valley Greek Seed Fund, right?
exactly, you know it better than me. Perfect, yes. Um, so yes, it was 100% Greek DNA, Greek everything, and yeah, yeah, it was super fun.
So the Greek diaspora did play an important role in your beginnings, right?
Of course, it was a catalyst, mostly because um, it wasn't just the money. We didn't raise crazy money, especially for companies here in the United States. Like the money that we raised were probably like the coffees that competitors were spending on a monthly basis. Like it was literally nothing. But the network, having super intelligent and experienced people that lived in the US, telling us what to do next, what we should be very careful of, like, giving us some, literally, we were getting an MBA, like fast track MBA. Like I remember I was talking with Nick Arvanitidis, and every single meeting, we were learning new things. Like, if you have this
There's
person,
a wealth of information coming
yeah,
from
of
this
course.
this exceptional person who is so supportive of young Greek entrepreneurs, and
Yeah,
of
and
course others here in Silicon Valley and in
of
the
course.
Greek diaspora in general.
And that's the thing that I loved about this experience. Like it wasn't just about the money. They were telling us to by my house whenever you want. I remember one of our mentors. We had an issue with pricing, and we called him literally like 9 o'clock at night. Like if you can drop by our place, and he drove like I don't know 40 minutes to drop by our place and like tell us what we should do, what we should do next. And it is remarkable. For me, it was mostly a cultural shock because I never knew that somebody could help another person because they really want them to succeed. The thing that happens in Greece, or at least it happened in the past, is that we're not very supportive as Greeks for Greeks. Like I don't know why this happens, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. But this started changing. I keep seeing more and more people wanting to help other people in order to advance, and without any other reason. This
So
cannot make
you
me
had a very positive experience with interacting with the Greeks in Silicon Valley, and now you're also giving back by mentoring and advising Greek startups.
of
So that's
course.
excellent.
And I keep saying this to every single event that people tell me, like if I want to come and talk to, like if anyone needs anything from reviewing his pitch deck, giving some advice or whatever, please send me an email. I'll find the time. I'll definitely find the time. We can talk a little bit, like 30 minutes, an hour, and help out as much as I can. And I've been doing this for a very long time. And I think
And,
it's the least I can do. It's how I got here from the support of the Greek network. So it is like very bad not trying to give it back.
and isn't it very rewarding when you see someone that you have mentored or advised move on to become very successful? Is a very rewarding experience, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Oh yes, yeah.
Well, now this brings me to my next question that relates to a unique project that took it was implemented last year in the summer. Was a machine learning program that you collaborated with data scientists from the University of Pennsylvania and the University of Southern California, and it was called EVA or EVA. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, it started literally last summer of 2020, the COVID summer, as we call it. And yeah, it was a very interesting project because we had to create a system that uh, Greece never even thought about having. Greece didn't even have the infrastructure to support this system. But of course, it's not only Greece, like no one else in the world had it. But we keep saying all the time, like, hey, Greece is like, doesn't have this, doesn't have that. I won't say that nobody else had it. So it's not like Greece did something wrong. Like
It was a pioneering work.
yeah, yeah. And we had to create the infrastructure of data processing, of analyzing who is trying to come to the country. For example, when tourists were visiting Greece, we were collecting their data, we're analyzing the data, and we're sending back a QR codes, whether they should go for testing or not. And there was a machine learning system in the backend trying to make the distribution of tests way more efficient. And it was a huge project because it had the following restrictions. First of all, it had to be extremely scalable. We were talking about millions of tourists, and this project could never go down. So also it had to be fault tolerant. You cannot have a system crash and that's it. We had all the privacy issues, so we needed to make sure that we never touch personal information and we only touch aggregated data and everything. We had a lot of liability issues, so we wanted to make sure that everybody in the government understands what part are we doing and what part we're responsible of. And then we had the infrastructural issues, meaning that there was no system to organize the distribution of testing, like no electronic system that connects tourists with tests, with lab results. All this had to be from scratch. Like in my mind, when we're starting with Timon Drakopoulos, the mastermind behind all this, when we started thinking how this should be done, and he came to me one day and told me, hey, how can we make it work? For me, it was like, even the infrastructure seems like a huge issue. No other country was be able to do it at that scale, that fast, and that efficiently, connect everything.
And that's the exciting part, that it was
Yeah,
you were able to launch it very fast.
yeah, very fast. And it wasn't that we wrote the code, we launched it, and then we went vacations. Like every single day, we had to refine the system, talk with the scientists in Greece to make sure that everything works as expected. Timonas flew to Greece and spent more than 3 months being there with the scientists all day, refining the model. So it was literally more than 3 months, everybody working non-stop to make sure that this works all the time, because this was a brand new problem. So we had to keep changing our strategies, had to make sure that we don't break anything, that we don't kill the whole country. So it's not, it is something that's extremely difficult. And for me, the surprising thing was, first of all, the teams that would work in Greece were extremely proficient in what they were doing. I had no idea we had, obviously I know that we have smart people in Greece, but they were extremely professional and trying to, and I keep hearing everybody saying that, hey, Greeks are lazy, Greeks, they don't know about their tech. They literally, like, they were super, super efficient and professional about the whole experience. And of course, we had the support of the Greek community, the Greek startup community, and the Greek government. If we didn't have these three things, like professional engineers and capable engineers, of course, the Greek government and the support of the Greek community, I cannot see how this product could work. Even if we had like super smart people on our side working on this, we didn't have the Greek side being organized, this wouldn't have worked at all.
But it did work, and it did provide protection for the country during the summer months where the tourists were coming to the country, and the testing that was done was very important to keep the country safe. So let me change gears a little bit and talk about the fact that Greece, although the pandemic struck globally very hard in the past year, it managed to have some very significant success stories in the startup community. So Greek startups that were acquired by American corporations, and in general, in the past years, there have been significant developments that have made Greece more attractive for investments in technology. So do you feel that now the conditions are favorable for a foreign company to go to Greece and start a company there, a technology company?
Of course. As I've said many times, Backsense was extremely competitive because we had our team in Greece. Agent Risk, my current company, is extremely competitive because, again, we have people in Greece. And even a new project that I'm working on, 100% everybody is living in Greece. They're not just Greeks, they live in Greece. And I want to say it's not about the salaries, like Greeks are getting less salary. If that was the case, I would have gone to India, Pakistan, or somewhere else to hire. It's the ethics. Greeks really, they know how to work. They are very committed to the project. They become involved, really involved to the project. We have smart engineers. We have people like the universities actually produce capable engineers.
Yes.
Like so, they know what they're doing, and it is personally, I think it is the best country to create software at this moment. And I'm not saying that because I'm Greek.
I think you are a little bit biased,
a
maybe.
little bit. But imagine it's a European country. It's way more competitive in terms of salaries. If you compare it with the United States, the engineers from Greece are getting hired from American companies, and we are trying to get them here to the United States. So I can see no reason why somebody wouldn't like to have a company in Greece. So yeah, I keep saying to every single company that I meet here in the United States that they should consider getting some contractors in Greece. And a couple of them, they already started, talking with some engineers in Athens, Thessaloniki, even Crete, and like it's amazing. I cannot believe like we have so much talent, and this is just the beginning. Like the startup community is like in its infancy right now. So I cannot even think what's going to happen the next 5 to 10 years.
The growth has been significant in the last years, and things are going to develop fast from now on. This is my take on the whole situation, and indeed, talent is one of the most important aspects of it in Greece.
And we need to understand that these things take a lot of time. Like we cannot expect like a startup getting acquired today, and in 3-4 years, a lot of startups are starting getting acquired. These things might take maybe 5 or 10 years to build a healthy ecosystem. Like we're not a country that started with infinite funding. Everybody want to move there, and pour money to businesses. We started from a disadvantageous position, and we are now competing with with huge forces, huge European and the US and Asia. So I think we are in a very good stage right now. But for people to say like, "Hey, we are the next Silicon Valley," which I hate, like hearing that, it's going to take time, and we shouldn't try to be the new Silicon Valley. We should try to be the first Greece. This is the difference. Like Greece has its own DNA. It has the weather, it has the culture, it has the food, it has different way of doing business that it's not Silicon Valley-ish, and it's great that it's not.
I agree with you. I agree with you because
Yeah.
Silicon Valley first is unique, and second, it's just a catchy title for for newspaper articles or for it's not. Greece is and every country has their own strengths and can develop their own ecosystems with their own identity.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, to close it off, I'd like to change gears again, and I want you to tell me about a special place in Greece that has emotional significance for you. Can you choose one and describe it for our viewers?
I think it has to be Chania. I love Crete. I said that I'm from Athens. I have family connections in Kalamata, but my favorite place is the place that I recommend everybody to at least visit for vacations and maybe retire is Crete. It's Crete, and especially Chania. For me, it means something special because when I was in NATO forces, I was in Chania, so I spent like more than 3 months there during the summer. So I loved the people, I loved the food, I loved everything out there. And there is some startup community down there. Like there are things happening, and the university is there. It's like really good. We could see. I almost said we could see a small Silicon Valley, but I
Oh,
won't.
no, don't
Yeah,
go
yeah,
there.
yeah. I won't go there, but I could see things happening. And whenever somebody visits Crete, like falls in love. It's very difficult not to fall in love with a Greek island, of course, but it has everything. It has the airport. It's a city, so it has. I have a lot of memories, very good memories. Whenever I go to Greece, like I have the best memories.
Let's travel in our minds to beautiful Chania. And thank you so much, John, for our interview today, for Learn from the Greeks. Stay safe, and hope to see you very soon. And to our viewers, also stay safe. Thank you so much for watching Learn from the Greeks, and stay tuned for our next episode.
Bye. Thank you, Daphne.